So a while back, I noticed on Twitter that, well, actually, no, it was this morning that WJ had posted something in response to a comment he got with a video showing him using Chaka's counter to counter a move, and then he went over here, did the classic untechable chain, and then blocked the same move. Wait, no, I messed that up. Okay. Where he blocked the same move, and then he pressed a button, and out of Anubis guard cancel, he got the untechable launcher. Now, normally, this button is only available inside of chains. However, there's a weird property with the Anubis guard cancel where, here, let me turn on my HUD, where if you use the, if you start like any chain up, and then you block a normal, and then if you press the C button out to Anubis guard cancel, you will call upon the last move that you used in the chain in order for use. So how this works is literally if you just start up any chain, like you see here, I did 5A, 5A, and then I pressed C to get 5A again. However, this is different from doing 5A into the C button, because what this actually allows you to do is it opens up plausible or like just what was basically thought to be something that someone would have to walk into. You now have actually usable unscaled combos. So what this allows you to do is if you press 5A, 5A, and you go over here, I'm going to block. You can actually get a full combo that doesn't scale until the last hit, and it cleaves off almost half of their life bar from 144 to 77 for 67 damage. Now this normally does like about only 2/3 of that, something like that. I'm not really good with math, but the damage difference of over 20 is definitely noticeable and really important to look at here, because it basically opens up, like, it makes the Anubis guard cancel something that was really good in its own right. Now this thing can basically be used to just nuke a player for encroaching on the buttons that they can't use. Before it was don't use that button. Now it's don't use that button or I will kill you. So this actually works for every chain that Chaka has. So I'm going to do 2A, 2A, 2A to get 2A, 2A, 2C. That doesn't combo, but now when I block and press the C button, I'm not even pressing 2C, and it punches out 2C instead. Same thing goes if I do 2A, 2B, 2C, where I then go... 2A, 2B, and then press the C button, and it gives me 2B instead. Now, what this can also then be used to, it can be used to basically start chains in the middle. So I'm going to 2A, 2B again, and that allows me to do 2B into 2C here. Let me actually combo it this time. There we go. So you can actually then get, like, if you here's the thing. If you can actually remember, like, the last move that you pressed within your counter, you can honestly get some pretty nasty stuff off of this. Like right here, you can get, like, from B to C back to B again to get your untechable. And, like was shown off earlier, just go straight into the untechable for more damage. And by the way, when you do this, especially with the when you do it with the untechable chain, what'll happen is, and then let him wake up, block again. You can do this infinitely. So what'll happen is it calls upon the move and then recalls it again. But does it work for everything else? Yeah, it calls upon the last move that you used in a chain and throws it back out. Except that's not actually entirely what it does. So I'm going to press standing 5B. So this is standing 5B, does 9 damage, activates scaling, activates IPS. Now I'm going to have him block it, and boom, there we go. We pressed the C button and instead got the B button. So what happens when you press the C button is that it just calls upon the last move that you actually used, and moves in the chain count towards this. So that's how you're able to get, if you press 5A, 5A out here, and then block, you're able to get 5A unscaled. Now, yeah, because like earlier, it was like normally like only the first hit of S5A triggers scaling. So the first S5A in the chain, but like if your opponent walks into it, like, no, it doesn't. Now, a thing to know about this is that using moves in standoff, so I'm going to do 5A, 5A out here. I'm going to press JC, JB, dash in 5B, all that stuff. Turn stand back on. Boom. It basically carries over your stand on values while you're in standoff. So the last move that you press in stand on will affect it. This goes for aerials, so he's going to do that. For some reason, that just calls upon B. I don't know why. Sometimes it calls upon C, and sometimes it calls upon A. So I did JC. I get B. I do JB. I get C, and then I do JA, and look, I get 5A. But I only get the first hit of S5A. Now, one thing to know about this is that there is now, you can actually then open it up. Hold up. Okay, let me see if I can, yeah, I'll negative edge this. There we go. And so now I have done some weird storage where, I know I've done this before. Okay. Here, let me get on the other side. There we go. Okay, now if I do... Yeah, you can do crazy stuff like that. I can get 2 5Cs just because I decided to... And you can get 5C, untechable launcher. This is absolutely crazy on the crap you can pull from this. And I even managed... Let me see if I can figure out like how to do it. Hold up. I don't negative edge with... Like, I know one time I was able to... A few times, actually, I was able to do Anubis guard cancel and then immediately grab after. So, basic important things to remember, is that stand on the specials, they really have, like, a bunch of jank when it comes to, like, what your next... Like, how the chain works. You can store your chains and then standoff just completely ignores this. If any button that you press in standoff will not count towards like any sort of like cancel availability. Now, I actually haven't tested it with 236S and want to see what that does. Okay, I guess that... Oh, yeah. 236S, apparently, I guess, then continues. It's like a standoff move because it throws you into stand-on, but when it's performed, it's done in standoff. So I guess it has this. I mean, to be honest, I don't know. I just came up with that theory right now. The biggest thing to remember about this is that, let's say you decide to do Anubis guard cancel. However, if you do it late, what'll end up happening is you'll only get S5C. So notice how I do 5A, 5A, and then I press it early. I get 5A with no scaling. But let's say I do it again, but I cancel late. What'll happen is I'll then end up getting 5C with scaling. So let's say you end off on like 5C right there. You gotta know how early you've pressed. And honestly, it's just keeping track because you don't have the HUD to tell you whether or not scaling's in play. So something like that would be hard to tell. But honestly, like this thing where you can just do that, and for 1 meter, you can just basically tell your opponent no and just cleave off half their life bar is honestly probably the most applicable thing you can find from this. But yeah, that's just a short demonstration. I know I told Pablo about this. He said he was gonna find more stuff. He was gonna lab more with it and kind of check it out. But this more or less is just all I have on the matter. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this, or really everything. I know there was like... I don't know how to negative edge. There we go. Okay. And let me see. I know there's like something... Yeah, there you can do that too. Yeah, if you negative edge on the C button, if you do CBCB, CBCBC, or something like that, and then you go for a special, and then yeah, you can go right from B into C, which is funny. It's not useful, but it's funny, and I guess you can do that. But yeah, that's probably where I'll leave it off. Just see if anyone wants to explore this more, see what they can get off of it. Like I said, I know that you can do... I know there was a way I managed to combo into grab, where I canceled into grab or something like that. It was like... it was 5A, 5A. And then... I don't know. I don't remember exactly what I pressed to get grab out, but if you feel like finding it, I guess you could, because like grab is probably the weakest thing you could get off of it, knowing what you can get off of it. So yeah, it's like, why would you waste your time with that unless you just want to absolutely style on your opponent? But yeah, that's all that there's going to be from this, from me for right now, if ever. So yeah, that's about it.